So guys, how are we all doing? My name is Dylan Brown, and today we are going to be talking about the events for the Strongest Man North 2025. What do we think of him? Has Brian Shaw gone too far? Who do we think is going to do well? Yeah, just all that kind of stuff. So let's get right into it. So event one we have is the max log press. Now the max log press will be an interesting one because it's a metal log. Metal logs are typically a little bit harder than the timber logs, but the only thing I'd say about this one is I believe Mitchell Hooper was saying that it's meant to have a kind of a sandpapery kind of texture to it, meaning that when you clean it, if you misclean it and you're at the top, you can't really just kind of shift it back like you would with a normal metal log. It just kind of stays in place. So getting the clean right is going to be really important. Not to mention the fact as well that like these guys are competing at altitude as well. So the lungs will have to be working a lot harder than they would in a typical session or typical competition. So that will definitely play a huge factor to this, as it has in the previous competitions in the past. Yeah, as regards to hitting, let's say, max log press, which I know some people are on about doing and Brian thinks may happen. I personally think that hitting a max is highly unlikely given the altitude and given the fact as well that it's this type of log. Now, I still think we're going to see some big numbers being hit. I think, who would be the favourites for this now? Probably like a Lucas Hatton, Austin Andrade, Tom Stoutman, Mitchell Hooper. All these guys are going to be right over there in terms of probably hitting, like, I would imagine 200 and north of that. We might get to see something like a 220 log press being hit. I could see Lucas winning this event, honestly. He's a fantastic presser. I think he's probably going to do well if he gets through to the finals. That's a story for another video. But finals for Worlds, I think he could probably do really well on the big jerk, as he did amazingly at the Arnold's. I think he hit, what was it, 250-ish? And like he definitely had like another 15-20 kilos in the tank. And he's still been training it since, so if he makes the finals in Worlds, it'd be pretty cool. But anyway, back to the main point of the video. So yeah, as regards to log press, I think Lucas will do well here. I think Tom will do well, Austin will do well, Mitch will do well, because Mitch just does good at everything, because he's Mitch. So on to the second event. So the second event will be a standing chest press. Now, I say second event, we don't actually have the order of the events yet. I'm just going off of what I've seen so far. But we have the standing chest press. So this was actually done in 2023. I believe Brian Shaw won this event when he did it. He did something crazy, like I think there were 7 kegs. The last keg he got onto, he was repping it out, got a couple of reps on that. So fair play to Brian on that. Unfortunately, as we know, he won't be competing in it this year. As I believe 2023 was the last year he did it. It was 2023. It was, yeah, because last year Mitch won it. Yeah. But yeah, so he won't be competing in that. I think someone like Tom Stoutman will do pretty well at this. Austin Andrade as well, just super strong presser, super strong static guy in general. Trey Mitchell will do pretty well. Mitch Hooper. Who else? Let me see. Trey, Mitch. Lucas, I would imagine as well. Haven't seen him do the sort of kit before, but again, his pressing strength is just ungodly at the moment. So would not surprise me at all. So yeah, moving into event 3. So event 3 will be a max trap bar deadlift. So for this, it's not going to be like a typical trap bar setup as such. I believe they're going to be standing inside some sort of a frame. And it's going to be 1 rep max. So I think Brian said that they're going to be loading it with tires or something. So it could be a little bit, I imagine it's going to be similar to something they had at Worlds in the past, where they've had like a deadlift frame that they're lifting. So where it would be like you have the frame and they're throwing the kegs into the back, and you know, each keg they go up, they do another rep. I think they're going to do it maybe similar to that, but possibly one at a time. I don't know. There's a lot of kind of unknowns about this particular event at the moment, but for max trap bar, I think someone like Lucas could seriously benefit from this, as his standard deadlift, we'll say, is not the best. It's not very bad, but it's not great. It'd be one of his weaknesses. But for Lucas in general, I think it'd be quite good because his leg power is through the roof. He's really strong lower body, so this could actually suit him a lot more than a standard deadlift. Who else? Obviously Mitch Hooper as well, just has legs for days. Austin Andrade as well. He's strong at normal deadlift, let alone something like this, because he's super strong lower body as well. I imagine Haftor, if he's competing, will do really well at this too. Tom probably do pretty well at this too, actually. I think this might actually suit him better than a normal deadlift. The only thing, so again, the whole, point behind the video, aside from just going through the events, but in terms of injury risk and has Brian taken it too far, too heavy, I think having the max trap bar deadlift could be quite risky, because these guys are really, really strong. And you could be seeing upwards of I would not be surprised if we saw someone do 550, maybe even higher. I think people are on about, possibly getting 600. I don't think 600 will be hit on this, especially the fact that now most people coming into this competition will be thinking of I need to survive this competition, not max out in every event, because there are a lot of max events, which we're going to get into. But yeah, so be interesting to see who does well here. Like I say, Lucas, Mitchell, what's his name? Haftor, Tom Stoltman. Good few of them be doing pretty well, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on. So event 4, frame carry into arm over arm. Now, from my understanding, the arm over arm will be pretty similar to what they had last year in terms of weight. So it's going to be pretty heavy. I imagine it could be a similar time limit as well. If it's the 90 seconds like it was last year, that's going to be absolutely barbaric. A real proper test of grip strength. It's going to be very hard on the grip, obviously, very hard on the forearms and stuff. Before that as well, they have a heavy frame carry. I don't know how heavy, but I imagine at least 370 kilos, probably to 400, in around that range. I would imagine it'd probably be a similar weight to what they do at the Arnolds for the timber carry. I'd be assuming. Could be lighter, could be heavier. Knowing Brian, it's not going to be light. He does not do light events, ever. So that'll be interesting to see. People I think who are going to do well, probably Maxime Boudreau could really shine here. His grip is amazing. He does really well at arm over arm, stuff like that. So he could pick up a decent amount of points here. Mitch Hooper, again, just because he's good at everything, anything to do with cardio or technique especially, he tends to shine above the other guys because he just has it down to an absolute T. Who else? Who we got? I think Lucas would probably do pretty good at this. I'm trying to remember that event they did a carry and drag. No, that was slightly different. I think Lucas could pick up a few points here because he's pretty technical. He's one of these guys, he really kind of analyzes the events before he goes to do them. And he just performs pretty well on a consistent basis, even on events that you wouldn't expect him to be doing that well on, like stones, for example. Given his build, you wouldn't imagine it, but he's actually pretty good at stones. Aside from Lucas, who else? Someone who'd have the build to do it really well would be someone like Haftor. I think he'd do pretty well at this. No reason why he should be losing points here. Tom Stoltman as well. Once he gets into a bit of a rhythm, I think he'll fly away with it. Yeah, so that'd be kind of my top picks for event number 4. So, for event number 5, we have the safe carry, or super yoke, whatever way you want to call it. So, yeah, the safe carry, I'm trying to think. We don't know the starting weights yet. It will likely be done in rounds, so I'd imagine be starting around the kind of 1,000 pound mark, so around 450 kilos. And slowly kind of working up from there. Again, I would imagine they're probably going to be going maybe 100 pound jumps. just to kind of keep it interesting, keep it moving. Guys I think that will probably do well at this would be the likes of Mitch Hooper anyway. I could see him winning that event. And not just because he's Mitch, but because that's probably his best event, if we're being brutally honest. Mitch probably do pretty well. Thor's squat is really strong, so I'd imagine he'd do pretty well at this. Someone as well like Lucas Hatton could pick up some serious points. Austin Andrade I think would do pretty good. Tom, maybe. I think he'd be more kind of mid-table in that. I don't think he's amazing at yoke carries. He has the strength to do it. I think it's just the technique might be a little bit off in comparison to the likes of a Hooper or a Tor Bjornsson or Lucas Hatton. So yeah, I think those will probably be my top picks for that. It's actually quite similar to an event they did in the Arnolds. I'm not entirely sure what year that was. It was 2014 or something, where they did the Bale Toe, which was a 1,565 pound super yoke, which they had to carry over, I don't know, was it 10 or 20 meters or something? But super heavy. They were just doing it once, and it was just a case of kind of distance and speed is what they were basing it off of. A lot of people couldn't even finish it. I think Brian Shaw was one of the only people to finish it. And yeah, it was super heavy, super hard. Again, back to the injury side of things, I think there is definitely a risk of people injuring around the knee area, possible damage to the cartilage in the knee, stuff like that. It's super heavy, could be really dangerous. As a fan, I'll be honest, I'm excited to see it. But if I was competing there as an athlete, I think it would be a bit of a dodgy one, to be honest. So you'd have to be really tactical about, what weights you're choosing to do, because obviously you don't be doing the lightest weights there, or otherwise you're coming last. But you want to be going heavy enough that you're confident that you can do it without obliterating your knees, pretty much. So yeah, that's my thoughts on event number 5. So moving on to event 6, we have the Manhood Stones. Now, the Manhood Stones is an event that they actually did last year. Really excited to see this one, and I actually like that it's becoming kind of a regular thing now. The Manhood Stones is basically an event where they test who can lift the heaviest Atlas stone. So they do it in a weight trumps weight kind of style. So they have, I believe, 450, 500, 550, 600. So they have 4 stones that you have the option of lifting. So let's say, for example, for those of you who don't know what weight trumps weight actually means, let's say if someone does like 10 reps on the 450, if another person comes along and does 1 rep on the 500, then that beats the 450. And that's kind of the way it goes up along through the rest of the stones. Really excited to see this event. I'm really excited to see how Tom Stoneman gets on in this, because he's obviously one of the strongest stone lifters in the world right now. I believe he's done like a 286 stone during COVID. So that was pretty cool to watch. I think based off of last year, unfortunately, Tom actually zeroed the stone because he opened very heavy. And he did say that you really want to get your tacky right and stuff, because the weight of these stones, it's not so much the weight of them as it is the kind of like texture of the stone. So the stone itself is actually quite smooth and quite slick. So getting the tacky right is really important. Whereas in other competitions where they use stones that have been used several times, they tend to be a lot kind of more like rougher, and usually there might be little bits of tacky still kind of left over on them. So they are a bit kind of stickier and a little bit easier to lift. So I think Tom will be excited to see this event back and really kind of coming back to prove a point that he's one of the strongest stone lifters in the world. The king of the stones, arguably. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see that. I think Hafthor Bjornsson will do well in this. I think he won it last year. Austin Andrade as well, I think he came second in it. Hooper was third, I believe. Those guys are going to be doing really well there. Lucas Hatton as well, as I was saying, like on stones. He is deceivingly good given that he's kind of a shorter athlete. I mean, I can't say anything because I'm shorter than him. I believe he's 6 foot. I'm like 5'11" and a half. So yeah, he's plus the body weight of me. He's way bigger than me. But for the pro strongman level, he would kind of be like, he's kind of, let's say, shorter arms in relation to his torso and stuff like that. Kind of long torso, short legs type dude. With relatively short arms as well, so you would imagine it wouldn't suit him, but he's just gotten so proficient at his technique that I think he'll actually do pretty well in this event. So best of luck to Lucas on that. Yeah, so that's the manhood stones. So move on to the next event. Okay, so next event number 7, the max keg toss. Now this is going to be really interesting. First time they've had this event in the Strongest Man on Earth. So trying to think now who do pretty good at this. Excuse me. So the likes of Hafthor Bjornsson, I think would probably be up there to win it. Mitch Hooper as well, very good thrower. Obviously the likes of Tom now and Thor would have the height advantage over him. Hooper, again, he's just so technically efficient, could do really well at this. But this is kind of less about getting the height. So I believe it's over a 15-foot bar, which is kind of standard-ish height for them in competition. But it's just like more about the weight. So I believe they're doing it in rounds, starting with, I don't know what weight, they haven't confirmed that yet, slowly building up, and then they're going to be separating the guys as it goes along. So people will be failing lifts, other people then will keep making the height. Just based on absolute strength, I think Thor will probably win this. I think he'd actually take the edge over Hooper on this. I think Hooper can beat him on height, but I don't think he'll beat him on weight because Thor just has the posterior chain power to be able to just launch anything he wants to, really. And yeah, so who else? Yeah, like that Tom could do pretty well at this as well. Let me see. Someone like Lucas now might be dropping points on this just because his throwing would not be the best. Who else? I'm trying to think. Probably Maxime. He could probably pick up a few points here. But I think Thor will probably be the dominant one in this particular event. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. So moving on to the next one. So guys, moving into the last event number 8. And to be honest, I think this probably will be the last event on the day as well, as they have finished on the power stairs last year, and I believe the year before as well. So the final event being the tire flip into power stairs. So for this event, I think the favourites would probably be someone like Hafthor Bjornsson, possibly Tom Stoutman, Maxime Boudreau, Mitchell Hooper. And the main reason I bring this up is more so because of the power stairs at the end. The taller guys will definitely find this a little bit easier, as getting over each step will be that bit easier each time. So yeah, for the likes of, as I say, Tom Stoutman, Thor, they should be flying over those steps. Mitch, again, with just that technical efficiency, should fly through that. Maxime just has a natural ability with power stairs as well, even though he's kind of more the medium height type dudes out of the pro strongmen. But yeah, so they'd probably be my top picks for that. Now, as regards to the injury side of things, with the tire flip at the start, that is where a lot of people are getting worried. A lot of people are worried about getting bicep tears, and it is a real possibility. But the reason I think it won't be as bad as people are saying is because, knowing Brian, he will make the tires really, really heavy. And if they're really heavy, you can't really use your biceps to lift them as such. So like, I've done this in the past as well. I think my very first ever competition, the second last event was a tire flip for reps, and it was really big, really heavy, and like that first competition ever. So there was no way in God's green earth I was going to be strong enough to bicep curl the fucking thing. So yeah, as regards to actually moving it, what people would have to do is you actually nearly need to kind of start in like a sumo deadlift type stance. Really push your chest into the tire, get it that first kind of half a rep off the ground, if that makes sense. Enough distance that you can get your knee under it. From there, you're getting your knee under it, driving that through with hopefully enough momentum that you can get your hands kind of under it in this type of position as opposed to down here, and then slowly kind of push it over like that. But yeah, as I say, if these tires are going to be as heavy as Brian will likely make them, then that'll probably limit the injury risk to the biceps, because people won't be able to afford to use their biceps. There's no way they're going to be able to flip them in that fashion. The reason I haven't really talking about my predictions for the tire flip side of things is because I haven't really seen many of the guys do tire flips. At least not in a very, very, very long time. You very rarely see them in competitions these days at the pro level, just because the guys are so strong that most average tractor tires, whatever, they're able to half bicep curl them on the way up, and that's where that's where the injuries happen. So hopefully, fingers crossed, nobody gets injured in this competition. I think overall, like, it's hard to predict a winner at the moment, just because we only have 8 athletes that have officially been announced, that have officially been invited, let's say. I'm just going to check them here now. I have them written down. So yeah, so the 8 invited athletes, the strongest man on earth currently, are Mitchell Hooper, Hafthor Bjornsson, Lucas Hatton, Trey Mitchell, Austin Andrade, Tom Stoltman, Maxime Boudreau, and Josh Spurgeon. So Josh Spurgeon got the invite because he won the Strongest Man on Earth Open last year. So that gave him an automatic qualification to this year's Strongest Man on Earth. I don't know, did they call it Shaw Classic Open? But anyway, you know what I mean. But yeah, so these are the current guys that are invited. Again, as I say, like, there's still going to be 8 more guys added to that list. Possibly some of those guys mightn't even come because they might be injured or whatever. But if someone like Evan Singleton went to this competition, I could see him doing really well in a good few of these events. I think, like, for instance, the safe carry, I think Evan could be right up there on that. Power stairs, that the last one as well, he could fly through that as well. Like that, there's so many good guys at the moment. Like, the level that Pro Strongman is at right now is ridiculous. So many new guys coming in with such a talent, not to mention the lineup for World's Strongest Man, which we will get into in the next video. I'm waiting for the groups to come out so I can do a proper prediction video, but my god, there's a lot to talk about there. Some big changes in Worlds this year, so really looking forward to seeing how the guys get on at that. But yeah, other than that, if I were to give a current prediction, again, as I say, half the lineup isn't even there yet, but current prediction, it's hard to bet against the mighty Mitchell Hooper. The guy just doesn't know how to lose. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he gets on these events. He has some really good events in there. And like, even the events he's not even that good at, like, I can't see him placing below like 5th. But like, that's 5th in a 16-man lineup, so that'll still probably be enough to be getting that top spot overall. So yeah, I think Hooper at the moment in general is the man to beat, let alone at this competition. So yeah, let me know what you thought, guys. I'm really looking forward to making the next video about Worlds. As I said, there's a lot to go through there. I will be making another video on this once we get the full lineup of athletes a little bit closer to the competition. I think that's in August, roughly. So we'll be doing a second one these couple of months' time. But yeah, let me know what you think. We'll be covering Worlds next, so really excited to get into that. And yeah, if you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. See you later, guys.